Hey guys, how's it going? Josh here, and I'm here with a new bio. This one is Son Goku, popular from the Dragon Ball Z franchise. Now, as you can tell, this look is totally different than the bio looks we've done before. First and foremost, I made it very simple, just because the whole vibe I'm trying to get here is like it's like a story time. It's like the bio is like I'm telling you the story of this character, so it's very simplistic. I try making it not too complicated. The stuff on the screen is just what you need. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So, real name is Son Goku, aka Kakarot. Kakarot is his Saiyan name. Goku, a lot of people know this, but he's an alien. He's a Saiyan from the planet Vegeta. He's not from Earth. Even though originally people were just like Monkey Boy, but his Earth name is Son Goku. And his abilities are superhuman strength, speed, durability, flight, energy projection. He's a martial arts master, teleportation, power augmentation, and ape transformation. Now, on there, I do have ape transformation, but he really just turns into a giant monkey. There is a big difference. But they call him the Great Apes, so I just put ape transformation on there, just, for the secular, so to speak. Superhuman strength, just to go into these really briefly before I actually really get into the origin. Goku trains constantly. He's one of the strongest beings on Earth without going Super Saiyan or anything like that, or Great Ape form. And to the point where in Dragon Ball Z, he was training with 10-ton weights on each arm easily, and he was still training at blinding speeds. It was hard to follow him, and he had tons of weight on him, and he was just screwing around. I mean, he was dead too, but using afterlife training. Dude trains like no other. But I remember in the OG Dragon Ball, stuff, because I was rewatching some of it, and one of my friends let me borrow his Dragon Ball, DVD collection. I was rewatching some of the Dragon Ball Z, early Dragon Ball stuff, rereading the mangas, because I have the mangas, and he was smashing mountains and stuff, and he actually ends up able to smash a planet later. So he's definitely, I'd put 100-ton kind of range. Speed also, dude's incredibly fast. Just without flying, he can dash and he can run at speeds faster than you can, see, and then he could react and fight for sustained periods of time so fast you can't see him. You just feel the shock waves of, the blows and all that stuff. So that's pretty impressive, I think. Durability, dude can take energy blasts like nothing, especially if you go kind of GT realm. It gets kind of ridiculous, just how much force he can take. But he can die. Goku has died before. He's died twice or 3 times, I believe. It's hard to really remember when he's died or when he's just been critically injured and then came back. And then flight, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You can fly at supersonic speeds. Energy projection. It depends which technique he's using, but the most basic form is just like an energy blast. The Kamehameha wave, or just like an energy volley, so to speak. And then martial arts master. He's probably the greatest living fighter in Dragon Ball Z, him or Vegeta, I would say, even though he usually is better than Vegeta in fighting, just because he's either more creative in fighting, or it's just Vegeta's stubbornness and ego gets the best of him, and he loses because he overestimates or underestimates his opponent at times. But yeah, definitely I'd say Goku, he's up there. Especially because he always is training. A lot of characters, they train, they learn all this stuff, and they stop. Goku never plateaus in that front. So there's that, and then he has instant transmission, which is teleportation, which is a pretty unique skill. And then power augmentation. I know a few of you are like, what is that supposed to be? That is Super Saiyan. I was going to put Super Saiyan transformation, but I felt power augmentation as an ability was more appropriate because he has stuff like the Kaioken, and I guess the Super Saiyan God form is new now, but the other Super Saiyan forms. So I just felt like to encapsulate all of that, power augmentation would be better. So that's a basic run through of Goku himself, and now let's get into the actual origin itself. The child known as Goku, but before he was Goku, he was Kakarot. And Kakarot was born on planet Vegeta, as I said before, and he was a part of a warrior race called the Saiyans. Now, they basically, at this point in time, they worked for a evil dictator called Frieza. If you know anything about Dragon Ball Z lore, Frieza is the first big bad of Dragon Ball Z. After the Saiyan saga, it's the Frieza saga pretty much. So, basically, the Saiyans work for Frieza. They're pretty much his, muscle, to put it lightly. They take over planets, then they sell the planets for Frieza. Now, Goku's father, his father, Bardock, feared their planet might be destroyed soon by Frieza. He just, he had, reasons to believe so. And I can go into that, but that's a whole different story. So he sent Goku away, or Kakarot away to the planet Earth. Also, he was born with a pretty low power level in regards to normal Saiyans, so they didn't really even care for him that much anyways. I mean, besides his parents, the general Saiyan race didn't look, that fondly on his power level. Now, when he crashed on Earth, though, he was found by an elderly man called Gohan, who was a secret, he's actually, you find out later on, a, very, well-trained martial arts master, well-known, all this stuff. But at this point, he's just, an elderly man who finds this, baby basically, takes him in. And at first, Goku is very violent and aggressive because he is named Goku by this elderly man. However, he becomes calm and, the more kind-mannered Goku we come to know later after suffering a very, serious head injury. So, yeah, I guess for once a head injury actually, did some good, I guess, for someone. Now, taking Goku in as an adoptive grandson, Gohan taught him martial arts while also giving him a basic education. Now, when I say basic education, I mean the most basic of educations. Like, Goku is not known for his academic ability whatsoever, which is what makes it really funny when you learn about Gohan later on, like Goku's son Gohan later on, because he's like an academic nerd, which contrasts totally what Goku is. But basically, what goes on is, Goku's raised, all that stuff, but during a full moon, he transforms into a large monkey-like creature, the Great Ape transformation, which accidentally causes him to kill his grandpa Gohan. Now, he doesn't realize this and just continues living, simple daily routine. Basically, it boils down to surviving. And, he keeps this up until he gets hit by a car one day, and the person driving the car is a girl named Bulma. Now, Bulma introduces herself, and, after a day or so of getting acquainted with Goku, takes Goku on a quest for magical objects called Dragon Balls. Now, what really brought Bulma to Goku in the first place was the fact that Grandpa Gohan had the 4-star Dragon Ball. And Goku had no idea about this. He just thought it was, a treasured possession of his grandpa. So he wasn't just going to give it up for Bulma. So Bulma kind of had to convince him to go along with her. But obviously, if you know anything about Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Balls quickly become a focus of the series. Now, on their journey, I should say, they make more, friends along the way, such as the perverted turtle hermit Master Roshi and the bandit Yamcha. Now, Goku also learns new techniques, such as the Kamehameha wave for Master Roshi, which is actually really interesting because Master Roshi is like, it took me 50 years, I should say, 50 years to master this, and Goku's just, Goku sees it once, and he just is really easy. It's just easy for him. Obviously, they don't know yet he's a Saiyan, so obviously, this fighting stuff, techniques, all that stuff, it's kind of ingrained in him already. But I mean, for a general person, like a human in this Dragon Ball Z world, Goku's pretty impressive. And Goku also gets a magical flying cloud called the Flying Nimbus for fast transportation, which is actually really cool. And if you do read the Dragon Ball Z, mangas and stuff like that, that Flying Nimbus stays with him his whole life. Even after he dies a few times, it's still there. Now, after finishing his first quest, I should say, for the Dragon Balls, Goku leaves to train with Master Roshi. And while training with Master Roshi, Goku meets another student named Krillin. And if you know Krillin, you love Krillin. And if you don't love Krillin from the Dragon Ball Z mangas or animated show, you probably love seeing him get owned on Team 4-Star. So after training for about 8 months, Goku enters the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, or World Tournament for short. And if you've played any Dragon Ball Z game, you know the World Tournament. I mean, that's like what you and all your friends did, just World Tournament all the time to see who was the best. So after this, though, Goku loses in the finals to someone called Jackie Chun, which is really Master Roshi in disguise. And after losing, Goku sees the need to keep training even more and more and more. And this causes him to travel the world, taking Master Roshi's advice. And Goku also does this to try finding the 4-star Dragon Ball, because as I said before, his grandpa Gohan used to have it, so it kind of means something to him. Now, during this new journey, though, Goku, encounters and defeats certain organizations like the Red Ribbon Army, which later comes back with all the androids shit. But yeah, the Red Ribbon Army also fights in the next World Tournament and just overall becomes stronger than he was before. I mean, he makes some pretty big leaps and bounds during Dragon Ball between that first World Tournament he's in and later on. Now, his first real villain, I would say, was probably King Piccolo, which really Goku, it was probably his most personal villain, his first personal villain, because King Piccolo killed King Piccolo killed Krillin. I want to say he killed Gohan, but that's totally not true. Piccolo would never kill Gohan. Anyways, King Piccolo killed Krillin, and, during this, it ends off pretty much with Goku killing King Piccolo at a World Tournament. However, even though this is going on, and it looks like Goku's, he's won and all that stuff, and everyone's happy, King Piccolo laid an egg, far away, which had someone called Piccolo Jr. in it, who actually ends up becoming the Piccolo most people know about. Now, this Piccolo is kept hidden, and after this, Goku continues to train more with new masters, and he just becomes stronger overall. So, basically, later on, Piccolo Jr. comes for revenge, fighting in the upcoming 23rd World Tournament, and Goku joins the tournament, obviously, and fights him. And they have a pretty legit fight. I mean, Goku's shoulder, if I remember correctly, which I should, gets like blown off, kind of like there's like a hole in it, and it's probably the most brutal fight in Dragon Ball, I would say, just because these are two very powerful opponents who are very well trained and maybe know too many lethal techniques that they're willing to use in this situation. So Goku does win the fight, though barely. Both of them are critically injured, and Goku's a really good sport about it. I mean, he gives Piccolo Jr. a sensu bean, and it's pretty much, and this is a flaw with Goku, but even if the villain is really evil, he will give them the chance to heal to get a rematch. He just loves fighting so much. He loves training. He loves sparring, all that stuff. He's too pure, they say. I mean, you have to be pure to ride the Flying Nimbus anyways. But getting back on task here, and during the tournament, Goku actually reintroduces himself to a girl named Chi-Chi, who he had met earlier as a young kid. Around this time, Goku's like 19 years old. And Goku, as a kid, met this girl, Chi-Chi, and was like, I will marry you. And she remembered, I guess. So they actually do end up getting married. It is actually really funny, even though you can argue it kind of came out of left field, but for the most part, it's pretty cool. Like, it didn't really affect too much besides allowing Goku to have a son named Gohan after, a few years of peace, which is really where Dragon Ball ends and Dragon Ball Z begins. So, while Gohan was still a baby, a Saiyan named Raditz landed on Earth. Now, he's revealed to be Goku's older brother and reveals Goku's alien origin, and this is what opens up a whole new chapter for Dragon Ball Z, especially Goku in his life. I mean, from here we get more Saiyans introduced, like Nappa and obviously Vegeta. Goku travels to other worlds, such as Namek, which obviously expanded a lot on Piccolo and Kami, all that stuff. And old enemies became close allies, such as Piccolo. Majin Buu later on becomes an ally, and obviously Vegeta becomes a really good ally of Goku. They have a very, best friend rivalry kind of thing that Piccolo also has with Goku. So, I mean, just all in all, it's just, Dragon Ball Z, like, this was a really hard bio to do, I think, just because there is no really beginning, middle, end for Goku's character, because he just keeps on, like, evolving and keeps on getting more powerful and keeps on changing. But, I mean, during this time, I guess, and it says on here, Goku discovers a new ability that lets him achieve a new state of power called the Super Saiyan. Now, currently, as of me recording this, there's Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, I believe that's what it's called. And there's like a bunch more. There's like Ascended Saiyan, Full Powered Saiyan, Ultra Saiyan. There's like a shitillion and one types of Saiyans. But I tried getting the basic ones out of the way with what I just said. So yeah, I hope this helped you guys learn about the character Goku. If there's another manga character you'd like me to do, just let me know, in the comments below. If you like this and like the more simple format, let me know. If you don't, you want something more complicated, also let me know. I mean, that's what the comments are there for. And yeah, without further ado, this is Josh, and